You guys know the deal. Which one of these samples is going to come out on top? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, but he has a brand new video. Today we have another episode of the mystery sample box. If you guys are unaware of what this is, well, my wife goes into my sample boxes, grabs 4 samples, pours them in the glasses in front of us, and then puts those sample bottles in the mystery sample box right here. I have absolutely no idea what is poured in front of us. If you are interested in sending samples my way for this video and stuff like that to throw into the mystery box, make sure you guys send me an email. The email is down below, so that way we can get in contact and maybe we can get some samples that you have been wanting to send my way. But without further ado, as always, we go A, B, C, and D. Then I fast forward left to right so that you guys don't get bored. I will have what those sample bottles are on the screen as I am drinking them so that you know what they are, but I won't. So without further ado, let's get into sample A and see what this bad boy's nose is all about. Orangey. Whoa, A's nose is orange, citrusy. I get a little bit of like a breadcrumb. Like it's got a little bit of like a buttery, savory note in there too with that weirdness. It's like a, whoa, that is so weird. The nose the initial nose was sweet, but then after that first little bit of that nosing, you get a little bit of that buttery, savory breadcrumb, like a toasted buttery breadcrumb on top of like a mac and cheese. But I'm not getting the mac and cheese. I'm just getting that toasted breadcrummy quality. And then that dissipates. That's not there anymore. This nose is very intriguing. I'm definitely getting a little bit more like that lemony. It's got a little bit of a grassy quality. Butterscotch, really, really nice. This nose is pleasant because it takes you on a ride. You're going on a ride through this. Let's get to the palate. That's really interesting. It starts off as almost being a higher rye, but then that rye spice dissipates, and then you get a little bit of a youthfulness out of this, and I'm thinking that this is a little bit younger. It's got a little bit proof, I'm gonna say like in that 120 range, maybe 120, 125, because it definitely leaves a little bit of a lingering burn on the tongue. It has a little bit of a bitterness on the tail end of the finish as well. See, I like it, but I don't know if the youthfulness grabs me fully in. Like I'm 1 foot in, trying to think if I like what I'm doing here, but then I can easily get out if I want to. So we might come back to A, and it might just be something that blows the other 3 out of the water. But right now, A just isn't doing it for me. Let's move into glass B. This is dark. This is oaky and woody. It's got a Heaven Hill nose. Like if I had to guess, I would say this is an Elijah Craig. I like this nose a lot. This has an Elijah Craig nose. Wow. Woody, oaky, pleasant, soft, warm vanilla. A little bit of that toastiness that wraps everything together. It's a little dry. It's got a little bit of a tannicness that attacks the tongue, makes you salivate a little bit more than you want to. And man, that is good. I didn't even give you guys nosing notes because I wanted to get into that palate so bad because it smelled so nice. You get like a toasted marshmallow on this nose, which is interesting because that's not typical for what I think would be an Elijah Craig nose is, because this has deep Elijah Craig vibes going on that I can't really portray. It just, you get that initial, like, wow, this is reminiscent of what I've had with Elijah Craig previously. It's got a little bit of a nuttiness to it. It's warm, it's bright, it's inviting, but it also has some depth to it, which is really, really pleasant. And it followed through on that palate with that first sip. So I'm going to get back into this. It's rich, it rolls around and just brings enjoyment from the back of the tongue all the way to the front of the tongue, and then from the front of the tongue all the way to the back of the tongue, and coats everything in your mouth and just brings this really nice punch. And it is wonderful, 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 wonderful sip. That is definitely in front of A at the moment. So let's move into glass C. C's nose is very, very interesting. I don't know what it is about this nose, but I get a little bit of a wet sock. But that wet sock goes away. I get a little bit of a rye. I get a rye nose, rye spice. Sweet. Orange marmalade. Some pine needles on this. And then I get banana peel. Not the banana itself, but the banana peel. Like that earthy, I don't know how to distinctly describe a banana peel. It's earthy. It's got a little bit of that fruity sweetness to it, but it's muted in a way that the banana fruit itself is expressive in its nosing notes. But this has a softer banana note, but it's not up front, and it's a little bit more earthy forward. I like it. Not as much as B on the nose. Let's get to the palate. It's got a little bit of a bitterness that attacks the tongue first. It doesn't have a lot of sweetness. I'm not getting a lot off of this initially. Let's move into the second sip, because this one is very, very muted. It just has a lot of, a little bit of a burn and a lot of spice that hits it right off of the bat. It has those soft notes that aren't very punchy. The one thing that's punchy on this is almost like a banana liqueur note that comes through on this. It's got a little bit of an alcohol burn with a little bit of like a sweet banana, candy banana vibe that's going on through this that, you know, but I wish it was a little softer in the banana and a little bit more upfront in some other notes. And the one thing that comes through on this is that little bit of bitterness that I'm not the biggest fan of. So yeah, B definitely stays in the lead in this one so far. We've got one more to get into. Let's get into sample letter D. D's nose has a little bit of like a damp, burnt oak. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around what I'm trying to express here with this, but it smells like it's a little bit on that damp, like foresty vibe, but I'm also getting that toasted, burnt, oaky quality that comes through on this. And it's very contradicting. It's very strange because it's muted, but it's also just up front in the front of your nose. It's really interesting. I definitely get like an espresso-y note on this as well. It's very, very nice. It's enjoyable. It's pleasant. I think it's better than B and C on the nose. I don't know if it's better than A. A's nose was definitely the best so far. I think D is definitely close to A. I like the nose a lot. That wet oak kind of dissipates a little bit, and you get a little bit more of that marshmallowy quality that comes through from that burnt oak that I initially said. And it's really, really nice. Let's get into the sip. Oh, that is killer. That right there is so good. It's sweet. It's got a little bit of a grapey quality to it, but it's not like a wine finish in a way. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what like some Eagle Rare single barrels have quality-wise, of a grape soda quality note that comes through. But this is definitely not an Eagle Rare unless this is like Eagle Rare 17 or Eagle Rare 20 or 20, whatever those higher number Eagle Rares are that I definitely don't have samples of. But this has a grape soda quality, a cola-esque quality that comes through and just wraps around your tongue and squeezes everything out. This is wonderful. This sends you for a ride. Oh man, that's good. That's got some deep brown sugar notes on there. Little molassesy notes that I find to be so enjoyable. That's so good. I think D right now is in the lead, but we've got to go left to right. Before we do this, make sure you guys drop that like. Leave a comment down below on which one of these four you think is going to win, because we're through all four of them, and you guys know what they are, and I don't. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button if you're brand new, because we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and I want every single one of you to be on that ride, and it's going to be a fun one. Make sure you guys check that link out down below for the Patreon. Fun giveaways, barrel picks like crazy coming for 2025 that you aren't going to want to miss. So, without further ado, let's get to going from left to right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our final order, and in first place we have letter D. Second place we have letter B. Third place letter A, and fourth place we have letter C taking that final spot, which is unfortunately last place. Now, let's get into this box and see what we have to offer. Now, my wife did tell me that she made sure to put the corresponding letter on the bottom of the bottle, so I have absolutely no idea what we're looking at. But our first sample coming out of the box is an Old Scout pick coming at 117 proof. Second, we've got the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C922 at 124.8 proof. Our third sample is an Old Forester Single Barrel Proof Blue Label at 130.0 proof. And then our fourth is a Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye at 127 proof. So those are our 4 samples. We've got proof range from 117 all the way to 130. So we got a nice, somewhat close, nothing that's outstanding like 136 or like 105, which is really good. But without further ado, I'm intrigued to find out what C is. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's the lowest proof one. And it is not. I am way off on that. So let's just go down the line here. Is it the Elijah Craig? It is not the Elijah Craig. Is it the old? It is the Old Forester Single Barrel Proof at 130 proof, coming in at last place. Now I do know what A is in third place. We've got the Old Scout coming in third place, beating out the 130 proof. The 117 beat out the 130. Who would have thought that would have been the case? Not I. But here we go. D and B are our 1 and 2. In second place, I already know because I saw the letter, we had the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C922 come in second place, which means the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye at 127 proof came in first place. That just goes to show how much I love these Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Ryes. And Jack in itself just brings out some banger bottles that I seem to love, except for my own Single Barrel Proof Bourbon. But as you guys know, I've loved the Coy Hill so much. Like I said, if you want to send me some samples, check out that email link in the description, and we can get in contact, and you can send your samples my way to hopefully be in a video like this. Make sure you guys drop that like, smash that subscribe button, leave that comment down below. But until next time, this has been Nathan with the Everyday Drinker. Cheers.